much. So let me just explain the session. So many of your customers out there are looking to drive their digital transformation faster. They want to harness many of the new technologies, whether that's 5G, edge, AI, drones, to really drive that digital transformation and realize the benefits, whether that's more revenue, better quality, lower costs. CSPs, conversely, need to grow their revenue faster. And there's a big opportunity through digital transformation. Now, the best way of driving innovation is to start with the customer and the problems those customers are looking to solve. In trying to create the perfect solution to solve that customer problem, it really requires a broader set of capabilities than any one organization or a CSP can muster. So invariably, that means working with partners to co-create, co-innovate, and co-invest in creating the perfect solution that they can sell to those customers. So that's the theory of it. The practice is there's big challenges in terms of organizational change, skills, and capability to really invert the model to start with the customer and do that co-creation, co-innovation, and build out that partner ecosystem. So this conversation is really around what are the roadblocks, how to resolve those roadblocks. So I'm delighted to have two fantastic panelists. I don't know, Martijn and Thomas, maybe you introduce yourself and maybe tell a little bit about the company you work for.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me, of course. My name is Martijn Tekens. I'm the CCO Business Enterprise of Odido. Maybe for some of you, a new name in this area, but you formerly know us as T-Mobile, part of Deutsche Telekom Group. We are now a fully independent Dutch company, striving for excellent customer service in that sense, and also in a collaboration with Beyond Now. So happy to share a bit about that today.
Yeah, very good, Thomas.
Yes, Thomas Shelwood. I'm the CEO of Telenor's procurement company based out of Singapore. Telenor has a good footprint in Nordic and as well as in Asia, 220 million customers, which is maybe also a little bit about the opportunity in this context of the topic today.
Very good. So maybe the first question is a bit of a level set. Maybe both of you, maybe you can explain the importance of partner ecosystems in your business and the type of partnerships you're creating. Martijn.
Yeah, well, as Odido, we started our journey quite recently, of course. We have a background in telecom for several years or for a long period of time, but we really transformed into this new brand. And within this new brand, we prioritized also our partner collaborations to bring it much more in the front line of our shop and communicate much more about that. And that's for us highly important because we strongly believe that if you want to succeed in telco, you need to create these collaborations pretty fast. Because if you try to do it all yourself, you will slow down in your pace, and you cannot stand up because the technology goes really fast at this moment. So for us, the partner ecosystem drives us to be customer champion in the area of connectivity. We are really the strongest connectivity player in the market leader in the Netherlands in mobile. While in parallel, we try to make these strong collaborations together with assigned partners from their craftsmanship to expand our portfolio. And that means that we have perfect solutions for our customers. We can combine it for customers, but also we remain very lean and mean in the general cost profile of our organization, which gives us a very good competitive advantage in the future landscapes.
Yeah, I really like that. The idea that connectivity is really the core of everything you do, and you build from there, but also the ecosystems, that speed to market, that speed of innovation, responding to the market and being able to move quickly.
Yeah, it goes fast. So you mentioned in your introduction that the cultural change is therefore really important. Yeah. And I think that we came also a long way in that sense because historically, from telco perspective, and I think a lot of people will recognize that, is that we like to build it ourselves. We trust ourselves the best with the task to make a new product. But on the other hand, if you start from customer perspective, they constantly have this change demand. And how are you going to interact with that? And I strongly believe that if you assign there the right partnerships to make sure that you can adjust your strategy and adjust your lineup to the demand of the customer and the future demand of the customer, that gives you a much stronger position.
Fantastic. Thomas?
No, I think the word partnership, of course, we have different perspective in that. And I would say partnership is a word we need to quantify a bit. So at least how we see it, it's all about collaboration and bringing value to the business. And definitely these days in the telco world, we need to find that kind of value proposition. And to collaborate is key. But I don't think it's new. We have collaborated a lot with suppliers. And how to move from that customer-supplier culture that maybe telco has been. So what we have done, or we are embarking on, is really how are we defining the business enablement, which is maybe the traditional way of contracting and collaborate, as well as the business development space, as well as business innovation. And I think from my role, how are you contracting and how are you collaborating on getting that signature? Because that is also the fundament of actually landing into the execution mode. Because partnership and driving innovation in one way is a very good collaborating and starting point, but in one way we need also to get it into contract. And I think that's very much the bridging element here. And how are you generating the incentive and a joint incentive to really get this time to market also enabled?
Because this is the real elephant in the room, because there's really been procurement, the idea of that change. So in terms of, more collaborative, more flexible relationship,
yes.
Which is a win-win for everybody. How do you see procurement plays a role in that?
No, I think procurement is not an RFX function in itself. We are doing lots of renewals. We have first right of refusal. We are direct contracting and so on. So what I think is key is to maybe lift the dialogue more to a strategic and business-oriented dialogue. And in one way, not starting with a contracting process. How are you starting the dialogue and how are you moving step by step into that contract both parties actually need? I think that's the key. And as I said, business development and go-to-market is one area. And I would say where we are kind of humble is really how are you getting a full organization to be energized from kind of that collaboration around innovation into you putting it into an integrated part of your value proposition in a big market. That's a long end-to-end process. So I think there is different processes and contracting that we need to enable.
So if there's a crowded room with two elephants, the second elephant in the room would be around this thing around the mindset shift and the cultural changes to work in a different way. Some of these partners, I guess, traditionally telcos have worked with very large, the Ericssons, the Nokias, very large organizations. But in an ecosystem, if you're picking a vertical like agriculture or automotive, maybe a more smaller, more specialist type organization. So in terms of maybe both of you can give your perspectives on how does the CSP manage that cultural and mindset shift? Martijn.
Yeah, I think that we turn it a bit around, I think, in the approach. If it comes to setting up this marketplace, I think that most of the telcos start with, all right, we need to build this platform, we need to automate this, we need to orchestrate this, make it really a functional approach. I think that we turn it a bit around because a marketplace for Odido as a company is not new. We do this for several years. But we changed the concept a bit because we started with the selection of the partnerships first. And then it comes to, do we have the same, do we see your added value? Is it well perceived by customers? Do we have the same identity when it comes to customer engagement? Do we support it properly? Do we know that if the customer contacts us for a service ticket, that you act on it really properly, and are we in agreement there? So I think that changes completely the approach in mindset from do it ourselves to let's investigate first if there is a smarter way to collaborate with a partnership before we start automating it. And now we come to a point where we have lots of millions of revenue on top of the general connectivity. And the question is a bit different because then it's about how am I going to create this scale? And how am I going to keep this customer engagement promises alive also when I have a much broader perspective of continuity in my marketplace. And that drives us now back to the key question, how to automate this and how to orchestrate this future-proof. And I think that, we set it up a bit isolated from the general starting point that telcos have, because I think that here, and it's always a bit of a nasty word to use, but also we have that complexity. We started with a landscape, a fragmented landscape with a lot of systems and products. We have a background
Whole
from
topic there.
from
Flexible IT,
mobile and
agile.
mobile and fixed,
Yeah.
but also we came out of a buy and build for a part of the organization, and now the key topic is how to bring this step by step over to a future-proof solution, and this is now the journey. So we started with changing the culture, creating these collaborations, and then automate and orchestrate. So bit of different route than the most.
Thomas.
No, I think it's also, from my perspective, I would say we just need to evolve and we need to learn. And in one way, what I see is that people are maybe not used to that type of collaboration and bringing that type of collaboration or engagement jointly to the market. So I think there is also on what you say, how are we steering the risk and how are you getting the people to know what it is and how are you enabling it through both contract as well as processes and clarity and role and responsibility. Because I think speed to market, it's also really about structure and knowing what's okay and what is not okay. So the partnership thing is definitely the way forward. At the same time, we have contract with this big number of customers today. In one way, how are you bringing this to the market with a strong onboarding and also maybe platforms that is enabling it? But that doesn't mean you don't have structured framework in place. It's more that people get used to use it, and we have that kind of balancing of risk with type of strategic partners. And that's, for me, strategic partnership is really where you are actually harmonizing who should take the risk and how are we sharing the opportunity and value creation.
Yeah. Very good. Martijn, I guess one of the interesting...
Can I add one more
Yeah,
thing?
sure.
Yeah?
Sorry.
Because I fully agree with you. It starts with structure. That's fair, because otherwise it gets a mess. On the other end, I think that we have also a few simple guiding principles. We say start small and then scale. And that's really important, especially in this area, I think. And on the other end, we have this, we don't start with the full, complete integration. We learn first from everything that we do, and then do this massive integration part. So that means if you fail, you fail cheap, then you can learn from it.
I think, I mean, one of the compare and contrast with, with starting with a customer problem and a solution. If it's a cloud-based service, your relationship may be over 10 years because you're continuously upgrading, improving, trying to upsell and doing other things. So just really a question for you, Martijn. I guess, how do you embed not just the solution development process, partners in that solution development process, but how do you embed it through life? And so you're always looking at what's the upsell opportunity, how do you get feedback from customers, how do you continuously improve the solution, and therefore really leveraging the partner to continue to integrate, to create the next upsell opportunity, for example.
Yeah, from the business perspective, we have a program for this where we collaborate closely together with customers to create their roadmap, their future roadmap. So if you can define the end game of your customer together, then you can create a roadmap and create all these steps to achieve that goal. And I think that this marketplace strategy also helps, because that means that you come to a point where customers have different demands than your current portfolio have the ability for, and then you need to create this speed of innovation with different partners to fulfill the need of the customer. So you need to be flexible in that sense.
I guess final question, Thomas. So in terms of from a procurement perspective, what are the key challenges, do you think, in creating that thriving ecosystem of partners? How do you get the small companies, the big companies? How do you really get the, if it's 100, 200, 300 companies, innovators, large companies, how do you create that ecosystem?
I think first we need to evolve, and in one way, as you are saying, how are you not limiting yourself to have all things ready and then we can take the next step? So I think that's at least where we are now. We are evolving, but it is also, in one way, the word 300 makes it also very clear that you need to build a foundation and a playing field that people know which role they are playing and which risk they are willing to take or allowed to take, as well as which opportunity we are hunting for. And I think to bring the partners close to the use cases and the market is definitely where the innovation and opportunity is captured. At the same time, how are you having the processes in place to hunt for it as quick as possible? And I think in the B2C landscape, telcos is maybe the world champion in orchestrating and automating and so on. And how are we taking and embarking on that kind of partner ecosystem with the kind of also experience and history we have, and not being humble and saying, oh, we don't know how to do this. We are scaling. We just need to find a new formula and the ingredients, and at the same time, we need to be sustainable in the way we are scaling it. Because today, enterprise B2B, it's tailored requirement, tailored contract, and it's just slow. So I think we learn that scalability much more by also addressing maybe the SMB market, which should have the history and culture of our experience in B2C, which is scaling. It is sustainable.
Nice margins, yeah. Cool, very good. So time's up. I guess now it's the opportunity, Joanna, where you're going to facilitate some questions. Everyone's got questions.
Okay, if you're going to be that quiet, I'll go. So I'd like to get a sense of, you're talking very much in the near term and where you are right now, but talk to me about where you imagine it, you and your business will be with regards to partnerships and ecosystems and platforms in, say, 5 years from now, because people need to be able to understand what they're aiming for.
Yeah, if you look how we approach today our customers, it's a lot with persons advising our customer, and I think that in time will change due to the fact that you can make intelligent software in your ecosystem and in your marketplace, which can predict already the next best offer for customers and the next step to make in your digitalization. So I strongly believe that will change in time. That we will use this automated data-driven knowledge also to support the customer. And that conflicts a bit also with where we stand for as a brand, because we want to create the technology for humans and not technology just for technology. So we need to find the right balance between the personal interactions with customers while we use the data and the insights that we can collect and predict to provide them with the better customer journey. And I think that's the task.
Things like AI are definitely moving the needle on the sophistication of the products you can sell online, and AI assistants and everything else, and the insights you get from customers. So that SMB market, Thomas, in terms of being able to tailor for different dentists, doctors, shops, fast food restaurants. Certainly AI is a big thing there.
No, I think this is just my view, though, but I think telco need to reimagine themselves in a way of being able to be very close to the customers. We just need to be closer to them, and there is lots of use cases, lots of opportunity out there, and how we are aggregating these kind of value proposition and use cases into our technology platform or however. We have a strong brand, we have a strong retail, we have a strong distribution, we have a strong technology capability, and to contract is kind of just a step on the road. But if you don't know what the customer needs, then it will be connectivity only. And I think definitely we all need to aim to be that aggregator role, but we need to be close to the market and use the capability we have. And that is execute locally, and then we can scope globally and also with strong technology platform or marketplaces.
And what kind of risks, barriers, pitfalls do you see, kind of what to be aware of as people might be embarking on this journey?
A little bit populistic is ourselves, which is the biggest risk, that we go too slow and taking that market position that we are able to take. There's huge lot of small system integrator out there having a huge wallet of the SMB market. They are there. They are growing tenfold, 10x. The last 3-4 years, they have grown 10x, and we are not growing. And they are there. We are more capability than them. And we are able to bring more partners to that local market from the global supplier chain. Yeah? So it's up to us.
Be more ambitious.
Yes.
Drive
And
harder.
this capability we are talking about here, we will fix. But we need to have the right mindset.
Yeah, I think, in my perspective, it's all about execution.
Yes.
And if you want to reduce the risk, then allow yourself to dream big in marketplaces, but start small, make small steps, and execute on it, and be, really tough to your organization that you really drive these steps forward. And I think that if you do that, then you come to a point where it adds value to customers pretty quickly.
I just want to add as well, because we are we are talking a lot about hyperscalers and so on, and let's work with them. But who is best to sell and deliver and to main in a local presence? We are talking about last mile in telco. We can be last mile also in a service delivery and service operational mindset. Yeah.
This is not just selling, but also the whole thing around SMBs. The support is the most important thing.
Yes.
The thing they're most worried about, what they really pay for, is the quality of the specialist support, because they don't get that necessarily from the hyperscalers. So the idea of, you have a foot in the market, you said local, is fantastic.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Any final words?
No, I think
you're very happy?
you have final thoughts?
No, I think that we touched on a lot of things in this 50 minutes.
Very good.
Great.
Oh,
It was really interesting. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.